Well, Battlefield wants to get back on the battlefield. Battlefield 6 is going to be doing a debut trailer today. And this is basically going to be us doing a waiting room. Essentially waiting for the event. This is something that we like to do. We do sort of waiting rooms for events, for live events, for debuts, for reveals. If you're looking for my reaction to the Battlefield 6 trailer, that will be in a separate stream. We'll just kind of hang out like this. We'll just kind of talk. We'll just kind of chill. This sort of is reminiscent of when we would do Morning Coffee, which was a segment that we were doing for our members, but we did kind of realize we were making more content for the members than like public content, so we've shifted things around a little bit. So if you want to get into the behind-the-scenes content on the channel, the after party, as it were, the green room, make sure and click join and become a member plus. And if you already are at that tier level, we greatly appreciate you supporting the content directly. There's a lot of content on the channel right now as well. If you're not interested in Battlefield, we published a Chang Fallen Feathers review in progress. I will be playing that later today. There'll be gameplay of it on the stream. It'll be the very, very beginning of the game, so if you're worried about spoilers or anything major, just going to kind of show some things off. Game's not doing that great from the score perspective on Steam. There's some pretty severe performance issues, it seems. The player count got really high, but the review is pretty bad. And the review on PlayStation's not great either, slipping below 4, I believe. So it's like slipping below an 80, which is sort of in line with what I said. It's sort of like unpleasantly good. And it makes sense the more you play it as well. I was playing last night, and I was like, there's some situations that I think need to be resolved with like enemy tracking and things like that. I was in a fight last night, and I was just like, this is not acting right. Like, there was a lot of inconsistencies. So as you guys pile in to start the day, I don't have a show open. I don't have anything written because the day is sort of written for us. We're going to be watching the Battlefield 6 reveal trailer. We'll be playing some Chang Fallen Feathers. So the day is sort of already booked for us. So make sure you guys are smashing the like button. That does support us. That does help us out. It helps the video find more folks. And what do you guys want to talk about? We got some time to kill. You've never been a fan of Battlefield, just too campy, get killed by sniper game, never could get into it. My frustration with Battlefield was always essentially my frustration with like whenever I would play PUBG. And they're very different games. But it's in about 2 hours, Zubair. But they would sort of have the similar trope of big, huge areas. Oh, man, this is so fun. And you would trudge across a very far, area. Or you'd go on a really, far journey or whatever. And then you would just get sniped by somebody. That was one of the reasons I just never really got down with PUBG for very long. The building in Fortnite sort of mitigated some of that. The cone of accuracy in Fortnite, mitigated some of that. I feel like survivability in a battle royale is a bit of a tight wire because you want people to feel empowered to shoot at others and to get engagements, but you also want people to be empowered to like move around. And I feel like a game like Battlefield can suffer from the same thing as you create these enormous environments, but then what people are going to do is they're going to gravitate toward what's most effective. Well, a lot of times what's most effective is going to be to hide and snipe people. That's going to be an effective way to win. The vehicles and stuff are awesome. Like some of the vehicle highlights I've seen over the years from Battlefield are truly impressive. Like very, very cool stuff. But I think in general, when you have large spaces, you have to worry about what sort of gameplay people are going to sort of flock to. Like, people are going to take the path of least resistance. I think after they went with such a big open world, it felt off to me. I like close combat maps. Into the AM, 70% off sale right now. Oh, there you guys go. If you've been trying to get some t-shirts, you've been trying to like add to your wardrobe, you can use my code at Into the AM on top of their 70% sale. I didn't even know they were doing that. But yeah, the danger is, I think right now, for any shooter, any modern shooter that's going to try to garner an audience, you're going to be dealing with expectations about Battle Royale. People are sort of fatigued out with Arena. Like, look at what happened to Splitgate 2. what happened to Splitgate 2 is pretty much exactly what I said was going to happen. Now, I know people are going to try to blame some of the external things that took place, but if a game is really, really good, that doesn't really matter, right? If a ton of people were having a blast and the game was amazing, the nonsense that happened with the hat and what he said about Call of Duty, that wouldn't affect people continuing to log in and play. So I think you're dealing with two very difficult trends to straddle, which is fatigue with the arena shooter and the saturation of the battle royale. Where do you want to land with your shooter? Where do you want to land? It's a very, very tough place to land. And Battlefield's going to sort of be, an in-between where it's not necessarily a battle royale, but it's also not necessarily an arena shooter. Will it have what it takes to get people to say, yeah, Battlefield 6 gameplay was transformative and I really want to keep playing? Like these estimates that they have. What's good, Joker Quinn? What's good, Chris? Good morning, everybody. Guys, as you go through your ritual of coming in, saying good morning and lurking or listening or typing, make sure you hit the like button. That is super helpful. Will you play the single-player experience for this Battlefield? I would probably do that, yes. Good to see you, Lady Gamer. I would. I probably would. I'm going to be honest. First-person shooters don't draw to me like they used to. They really don't. Like a third-person action game or a third-person combat-based game, those are far more interesting to me. And Joker Quinn, Han shot first, and so did you. First 5 bomb of the day. Thank you very, very much. Let's add that to the total. That's going to put us at 364. And I appreciate that very, very much. The battle is kicking off between Team Purple and Team YouTube. Thank you so much, Joker Quinn. Good morning, Keenan. In modern day, from all the pictures, it'll be modern combat. Yes, they have shown us pictures that largely looks like what you would expect from a modern Battlefield. 2042, the guns are good. I mean, 2042 obviously went through, a pretty rough launch. Not the launch and the success they were probably hoping for. I mean, that was pretty bad. If I say hi, am I still lurking? You can obviously say hi and you can still be lurking. You can do both. It's simultaneous. What's good, Urizaki? How are you? I miss Battlefield Bad Company. As I was saying, I don't know if shooters really appeal to me like they used to. Like, I think it's a very difficult genre to innovate in. And so, I'm obviously looking forward to Borderlands. I'm looking forward to Borderlands because it's a looter shooter, not because it's a shooter. Does that make sense? That sounds contradictory, but it's not, I assure you. It's not, because it's like I want to play it because of the loot aspect and the abilities and the world. And yes, the guns are a huge part of that. But I'm not really keen right now if somebody comes out with some single-player shooter game to just pick it up and play it unless there's a significant, innovative, evolutionary movement within the game. I've just played so many shooters over the years. They don't really call to me anymore like they did. I mean, some of that's because I played shooters when they were born, and then shooters when I feel they sort of hit their apex in, I would assume, Call of Duty, when I was enjoying it at its most, was like a personal, apex. I'm never going to argue that there's an actual crescendo or climax for shooters because they're still going very strong. Derek says loot, at least Borderlands style, is pretty unappealing to me, but probably still more than just straight up Battlefield. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you just hand me modern weaponry and have me moving through cities and suburban areas, or you're gonna have the famous car chase missions, and I'm just like, okay, been there, done that. Like, I've breached rooms, I've moved through buildings, I've fought in open streets, I've fought in the desert, the jungle, I've fought in the suburbs. Like, there's only so many times you can be like, oh, there's enemies down there, get out your M16-ish weapon and, pow, 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 okay, move forward, pow, 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 stay in cover. I don't know. I think it's a difficult genre to innovate within, because if it's real world, sort of milsim adjacent, military simulation adjacent, where you're having to sort of simulate the weapons, you're having to sort of simulate what's actually you're able to do. It just gets, to me, this is just a me thing, it just gets boring very quickly because I don't feel like I'm doing anything that I haven't done many times before. I played Battlefield 3 as my entry into the franchise, and I must say it's really good. Really looking forward to 4. I always enjoyed the Battlefield single-player campaigns. I always enjoyed them. In my post-Destiny FPS era, says Legend Status, Doom and Borderlands 4 are now on my radar, when previously they would have not interested me as much. Doom is a very different take on Doom, if you're talking about Doom the Dark Ages. I actually think if you play Doom the Dark Ages and then Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal, I think that's the appropriate order to play the games in if you've never played one before. The parry focus and the lack of dodge and sort of agility and lateral movement and verticality in Doom the Dark Ages, I think it's a big turnoff if you come from 2016 and then Doom Eternal. I liked Doom the Dark Ages, but a lot of people did not like the trajectory that the game took coming out of the other two. This man is an expert. You can tell he's pow-powed before. Yeah, I mean, it's like you just kind of know what to expect. You know, I wish someone would reboot Hellgate London. The game had promise and the aesthetic was awesome, and it was one of the original FPS shooters. You know what kind of shooters I enjoy now is rogue shooters, like Gunfire Reborn. My wife and I couldn't get enough of that, and RoboQuest. Sadly, there aren't that many, and most of them are on PC only. I would love for a really good a RoboQuest 2 would be super exciting. A Gunfire Reborn sequel would be super exciting. You kind of get that Borderlands experience where you have guns that have like identity and feel and a vibe and perks, but it's in like a bite-sized, formula where it's a rogue, so you're not like, having to play for long hours if you don't want to. Playing back through Returnal game is just so good. Yeah, I wish Returnal was a little bit more approachable for the co-op aspect of it. Like if my wife and I'm tempted to take another crack at it with her just to see if we can get to a better place with the game. But when we tried it, it was just really, really hard for us to get anywhere. We would get to Frike. I would largely have to beat Frike by myself and then get her up. And it's like, well, if that's our level, at Frike, it's going to be really, really hard to go beyond that. Thank you for asking. Aviator Jesus, time for a good show. Oh my gosh. That's a callback. That's a shout out from the past. Aviator Jesus. The reveal videos haven't really given me enough to be like, oh, that's a relief. I hope Borderlands 4 is good. Borderlands 4, I think it's going to go down in history as the best Borderlands. I think the reviews will be positive. I think people will say this is more than a return to form. This is where the franchise needs to go. I think it's going to be highly praised. I saw footage just yesterday. I'm like, man, they have done really, really good. The contrast is too high. Oh, hang on. We messed with that yesterday, didn't we? Hang on a second. You're correct. What did we do? There we go. Thank you for pointing that out. I was looking up. So the problem that I have is my monitor is up and tilted, and I actually have to you know how you have to looking at a monitor or a laptop straight on to get the appropriate brightness? I have to do one of these. I got to prairie dog pop up and here come the short jokes. Because of the way that it's tilted, I switched monitors and I can't see it properly. So I wasn't sure if it was my monitor or what. Yeah, we messed with the brightness yesterday. You want to see the trailer? You're going to have to wait about an hour and a half. So while we're waiting, we're just hanging out and talking. Guys, smash the like button. You can watch it right here. I'm going to do a separate stream where we're going to watch it and react to it, so it's sort of contained in its own thing. This is just us hanging out, vibing, chilling, talking. You can smash like. That helps me. You could gift members, renew your members. You could sign up brand new for a membership if you've never been here before. I do a lot of extra content behind the scenes for the paying members. Okay. There we go. So we are in a Battlefield 6 waiting room. Hey, how are you? I am great. How are you doing? We're just talking games. We're kind of largely talking big picture, zoomed out a bit about like the history of first-person shooters. A lot of us have been playing them for a very, very long time, and I find it hard to get excited about one and want to go back in. So I was like, okay, let's see what Battlefield's doing, because I remember always enjoying the Battlefield campaigns. What do you mean Battlefield 6 waiting room? Battlefield 6 is doing a reveal debut trailer in an hour and a half. So I'm live on both platforms. What we call it on YouTube is a waiting room. We're just waiting for the thing to happen. So when there's a state of play, a Nintendo Direct, an Xbox showcase, whatever, we like to do a waiting room so that everybody can kind of pile in, get excited, think about like, oh, what are we going to see? What do we want to see? All of that. So if you're subscribed or you follow me on either platform, this is something that we do whenever gaming live events come around. So we can be sort of one of your central hubs for, gaming event live coverage. So if you're watching on YouTube, hit subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell button. All those things help. Let's right now try to get that first 100 likes. We've only been streaming for like 15 minutes. You guys are already kind of crushing it, so thank you. I don't know if I ever get back in. It would take like Quake 5, Half-Life 3. Man, Half-Life 3 would be pretty exciting. It really would. Kira He gifted a member over here to Ty Connect. Thank you so much for doing that. Bumping the line to 365. I think eventually we might go back to doing 5 every 25. I think 5 every 50 is kind of taking some of the punch out of the milestones. Because right now it's like, oh, we're a 10 bomb away is what I used to be able to say. And we used to let either platform kind of steal it. I just needed to pump the brakes a little bit. We were going a little too crazy there. Sorry for my bad typing. You're fine. I knew what you were trying to say. Nice t-shirt, Eddie Brock. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know where this one was. This is one of my favorites, and I opened up my closet and it was like right there, and I was like, where has this shirt been? I think it was in the basement, like in a pile of clean laundry for like a really long time or something. I think that's what happened. And it finally made its way back upstairs. The Burn Notice show, would love a game around that premise. I don't really remember the premise of that. I feel like my brother really liked that show, though, if I'm remembering correctly. Wonder if Battlefield will give more attachment options like in Delta Force. I think that will be their main competitor currently. Yeah, I mean, one of the things you're always going to run into with a PvP game is whenever you give this massive, massive pool of weapons, and then within those weapons you've got attachments galore. I think that's what people are going to want and expect from a Battlefield, but that tends to create what show? I think Burn Notice. Wasn't that a show that you really liked? My memory is that you really liked that show. But then you run into, when you have that many weapons, you have that many attachments, you can run into like OP builds, OP guns, stuff that's broken, stuff needs nerfs, stuff needs patched, whatever. And I think that's why I always go back to the contrast. I remember one of the primary complaints about Titanfall 1. That show was only seen several episodes. There's a show like that you really liked, though. What was it? I swear there was a show like that from that era of time that you were into, and I can't remember what it was. I swear it was you. Maybe my memory is cloudy here, and it was just somebody else that lived in the bachelor pad at the time. That's ancient history at this point, so I don't know. It might not have been you. But I remember one of the primary complaints about Titanfall 1, people said, well, there weren't enough weapons. But one of the reasons I think Titanfall 1 was highly praised and its PvP was very balanced was because you had just a handful of weapons. You didn't have to worry about all these weird things, these weird amalgamations that could come out from combining a perk with a gun or a gun with an attachment or whatever. I'm not saying that they shouldn't do it. You just kind of have to know what you're signing up for. When you dive into a game like Battlefield Day 1 and they've got like 46 weapons, 289 individual attachments, and they're like showing you how you can like swap into that. You got to know that they're probably going to have to deal with balancing issues, patching issues, broken this, broken that. That 100% is going to be an issue. The trailer's releasing in an hour and a half. You can watch it right here with me. We like to do waiting rooms like this so people can kind of get all like piled in, hang out. You can obviously watch it on the official video, but then the chat's going to be crazy. It's a little bit more controlled here. We've got a really nice community here, so, you subscribe to my channel. I do a daily talk show about the gaming industry, gaming conversations. We also do gameplay. I did a review of Chang Fallen Feathers, and that is on the channel right now. And then we'll be playing some Chang gameplay later at the very beginning of the game. So if you're worried about spoilers, you're not going to see much from me today. I'm just going to kind of show off some of the systems, talk about it. I also have some new criticisms that they're going to have to work on. The game is not scoring very well with the users. As I said, it's unpleasantly good. It's got performance issues. It can be rough around the edges. Apparently, it has pretty egregious performance issues on PC. It is scoring very poorly there. It's scoring a little bit better on PlayStation. Xbox didn't have enough review scores for a total just yet. It's a little early in the day for a platform that's a little bit more American-based. So thank you so much to all the new people coming in and hitting subscribe. I'm also a safe for work broadcaster, so a lot of people throw me on in the background of their day. They sort of treat me like video game radio or like a video game podcast where, since I'm safe for work, I'm not cursing and swearing. Now, the members only content can get a little spicy because I have somebody that joins me that is not as clean in their language. I just subbed, and I'm a dominant kind of guy. Are you talking about like in relationships, like you want to dominate me? Or are you talking about like in video games? Like this could go a couple of ways. Either we're going to play some games together or we're going to play some games together. Yeah, I'm just kidding. I'm married. Sorry if you got excited and you thought you had won the lottery of having a short little dude to throw around. I'm taken. Sorry. Crappy PZ version in 2025? Oh, in video games. Oh, okay, cool. Okay. For a second, I thought I was getting hit on, It was really going to make my day. I was going to put a little bit of pep in my step, Check your DMs. Oh, wow, somebody's already sliding in and taking your place. Somebody says, do you check your DMs? Just like that. Somebody else is up to bat, bro. Chill, bro. Chill, daddy. I do check my DMs. If you are one of the many people, yeah, you just DM'd me and said, hey, you are a thumbnail designer and video editor. I know what you're going to offer. I don't need your services. I have somebody that I pay full time for that. So I appreciate your interest. As a sniper, it's more important with your positioning and surrounding intelligence as Vedger, as playing as a marksman and then reading into the team play and the moment-to-moment adaptation. Well, again, my frustration historically with Battlefield was never that it was like, oh, it's just so easy to snipe. It's just that so many people do it. The first Battlefield I ever played, it was the one, what was it called? It had all the vehicles, and it was a lot of, there was a desert level that everybody loved to play on. There were a lot of vehicles. Was it called 1943? I remember playing it. Me and my brother and a friend of mine all had computers that we really, really loved playing that game in particular. And I feel like there's a tank on the cover of the artwork or something. And I remember we played the heck out of that game. We played like every night. Who's pre-ordering Battlefield 6? I am. I know we're not supposed to. So you've been a Battlefield fan all that time. Have you been like ride or die with the most recent Battlefield? Have you? Guys, by the way, today is a great day to gift members, to introduce people to the community, get them in our Discord. If you've never done a membership on YouTube before, for $6 a month, you're going to get into a daily segment called The Green Room. You'll get into my Discord, Friday night streams with my wife. We're trying to go for a huge goal this week because I am going out of town first week of August. So if we hit the big goal, we'll do a Saturday stream as well with you guys in MASH. 50 bob from MASH. We have some very generous people here, and you're getting a taste of it right now as MASH completely dominates the contest between Purple and between Purple and YouTube. It is absolutely unbelievable. And so that's going to skyrocket us to 415. So 500 every week when we hit that. That's renewals. That's new. This is to unlock a Friday night stream. And then Saturday streams are a new thing that we're just doing for a limited time. I typically take Saturday off, but I want to give a little extra content before I go out of town. And a 20 bomb from MASH comes in. I don't know what this guy's doing, but he's blessing the community as well as my channel once again. He doesn't know the meaning of to moderately ease people in to gifting. I missed yesterday, had to come in strong. Apparently. Sometimes we have people that try to battle with MASH in most gifted, but he made it difficult today. He just threw down a 70 like it was nothing. So MASH, I don't know. I don't know what to say. You're insane, and I appreciate it very, very much. Battlefield 1 and 5 had really good campaigns. I definitely gravitated towards the campaigns, right? His performance review went well. Yes, his performance review went very well. He had a performance review yesterday. It must have gone incredibly well. You're definitely picking up Wu Chang. I'm going to be doing some Wu Chang gameplay later today for those of you that are interested. It is not scoring well on PC because of performance issues. It's not scoring all that great on PlayStation either, and I would assume that's probably for similar reasons. When the early score drops that quick, I don't think people have, like, critiques of the combat like I do after, X number of hours when I started to run into some frustrating things. They're probably dealing with performance issues. So if you guys are here for the Battlefield 6 trailer, we will be doing a Battlefield 6 trailer reaction stream shortly. In about an hour and 15 minutes, we will shift gears. I'll actually send you over to a new stream. And the reason that we're doing that is because we like that to kind of be on its own. We like it to be its own thing, sort of self-contained, and that makes it easy for people to find it later and to watch it later. So you can just kind of hang out right now. One of the best things you can do is hit the like button. You can also subscribe to the channel. That's totally free. Following is free. You guys on Purple, following is totally free. You'll never see ads on Purple, by the way, though. If you sub, you can use your primes or sub voluntarily. Unfortunately, I can't do that for you guys on YouTube, but I can pause them, and I do that regularly. So if those are ever bothersome, let me know in the chat. Say, hey, we're getting kind of obliterated here, and I'll pause them. We have to, unfortunately, run them, or YouTube gets a little grumpy. You know how it is. Hopefully they get rid of the revive in Battlefield. Why don't you like the revive, FCAT? Haven't seen you in a while, by the way. What have you been doing? Why aren't you showing up and supporting? I don't understand. I'm kidding. What's your problem, FCAT? To be fair, if the cannon in the tent was diabolical work, that alone gets a downvote from me. The shrine that killed me, the cannon in the tent, getting kicked off ledges, The revive's aggravating. I have not played probably like an online, PvP version of Battlefield. I don't even know in how long. I played thank you for using your Prime Nano over here on Purple. Getting Purple back in the fight. It's 75 members to 2. It's a bit of an unfair contest. It really is. It's a bit of an unfair contest, but everything adds to the grand total to unlock Friday night. Gaming news been dry. It sure has. You're telling me, my gosh. 5 had a bad revive compared to 3 and 4, honestly. The listed PC requirements were suspiciously low, so they probably have more than usual trying to play on lower specs too. Well, that's unfortunate. Because, yeah, it's a good game with good ideas. They're definitely going to have to do some work. I don't know if you guys saw the new clip, but good golly, the magnetism of some of these attacks were like they literally move your character. It's ridiculous. $5 super chat from a man MASH. Remember to hit the like button, he says. Nice to see everyone. Well, thank you for being here, MASH. Thank you everybody else for being here. One easy thing you guys can do that helps the video out is get the like count to a new milestone. So 200 is what we're shooting for right now. Battlefield 4 was my last online for the series. Hoping Battlefield 6 brings me back. Strong first impression with Wu Chang. Combat feels fast. Combat feels great until you get to some of the attacks later that feel like the game is literally rewinding you, like it almost like it's like the game lags or something. I had the clip yesterday I showed you guys where like she misses me and it like moved my character. Same thing was happening in a fight last night. I would dodge and it would like rubber band my character back into position. It's very, very strange. I'm not sure what it is. I don't know if it's a tracking glitch, if it's some sort of a lag, like you're not playing online, but games themselves can sometimes break themselves because it's once again is a really fast attack that seems to be triggering it. It's like the game can't keep up or something. My favorite Battlefield game is this Bad Company 2 and all the destructive environments. You really had to adapt to how the gameplay changed. Yeah, destructive environments were certainly something that Battlefield made, I think, its introduction into PvP. You hadn't really seen that up to that point where you could like tear a building down, blow it up, or they had triggerable events, didn't they, in the one where like you could take down the one building and it would like fall and then the map would change. That was kind of cool, honestly. I don't know if there were a lot of other games doing that at the time. I don't know the exact history of destructible environment PvP games, but yeah, let's hope EA doesn't self-sabotage this time. I'm going to tell you, these are my concerns for Battlefield 6, all right? These are my concerns. They are, from an executive level, setting such an unbelievable high bar for the turnout on this game. I can't see them hitting their goals. I'm not quite sure what they think they're going to achieve, but I don't think this game's going to hit some franchise historical number. Now, I could be wrong. The industry could be sort of starving for the game. It could be the right time for a game that's sort of in between arena and battle royale to strike a chord with the audience. I just don't know. The numbers they're talking about are insane. Like, predicting record-breaking numbers is always a bit of an oddity to me. Like, when something breaks records and kind of goes crazy, it's usually organic. It's usually, something that happens on its own that nobody was foreseeing, kind of like the explosion of Fortnite, things like that. You can't really plan. No, like when Epic was like, hey, let's do Fortnite Battle Royale, I don't think they thought we're going to become one of the biggest games in the world. You know what I mean? I'm enjoying Wu Chang better than I was anticipating. Kudos to the devs. Where are you playing, Jermaine? I watched a vid of the Perfect Bridge fight. The soundtrack is so much quieter than what it was in the preview vid months back. Perfect Bridge. I think he meant Perfect Bride. Post-launch report of Wu Chang will determine if Wu Chang overall is a hit or a miss. They're going to have to act fast, man. That PC audience, they are brutal. Bride. The Bride fight frustrated me so much I beat her, but it really frustrated me because it wasn't consistent. The hitboxes on her are so inconsistent. She had moves where you could get directly behind her, and I would do a full heavy, and it wouldn't put her into backstab. I'm like, that's an entire strategy in the game that I'm supposed to be able to utilize consistently. It's how I beat some of the bosses very, very efficiently, and her hitboxes are terrible. Like, I would get behind her, do my full wind-up, nail her, and it wouldn't give it to me. Other times, I would hit her from, like, the side, and it would give it to me. I'm like, what the frick? Like, it's got some inconsistencies that are frustrating because it's high intense. It's like, that could be the difference between life and death when something like that happens. Thoughts on Gibraltar? You asked this 3 times in the span of 10 seconds. I don't know what that is. Is it a game? Is it an announcement? What are you talking about? It's a British territory. Is there a Gibraltar game that's been announced or something? It's missing that FromSoft attention to detail. Oh, are you talking about Gibraltar in Apex Legends? Sorry, it was mentioned in Battlefield 6. Are you saying that we're going to go there? Gibraltar. Oh, Battlefield 6 teaser, they mentioned Gibraltar. I am so sorry. I was so confused. I was like, are you talking about the territory? Are you talking about the character in Apex? Like, what the heck? I really don't know. Maybe they're hinting at the location. Like, is that where we're gonna be fighting? Is that gonna be one of the maps or something? Like, I think they're definitely gonna try to do the large scope, large scale map thing again. I think they're going to. I think they're going to do they're going to want to bring those events, right? Floods, tornadoes, hurricanes, whatever. I think they're going to have things like that going on. Again, I think that's something that they're going to try to do to make their game stand apart. It's not just going to be, come play our shooter and run around and do shooty shoots. It's going to be the map can change at any moment. You know, no game is exactly the same. Like, I'm not even close to accurate maybe in my guess here, but that would be my guess. Thanks for answering. Sorry for spamming. No, you're fine. I was like, man, you really want to know. It's like three times in 10 seconds. I just want you to know we're all counting on you. I felt like it was in the movie Airplane, you know? Hey, actually, did you what do you think about Gibraltar? A couple seconds goes by. I wanted to get your thoughts on Gibraltar. I'm from Gibraltar. That's why I'm so excited. Well, you'll have a distinct advantage in the fight then. You'll know all the best hiding spots. They'll have to ban people from that region for the first week, you know. You got to give us all a bit of a head start. You know, you got to help out the rest of us. Oh, my phone's falling. Oh gosh. Whew. That's scary. It's like when you think your kid's going to fall off something, you know? It's like, that's your phone. What I love about Battlefield is their campaign and their graphics are top tier. I remember enjoying the campaigns. I remember getting burned out on the PvP pretty quickly. And that's a me thing. That's a me problem. I don't know, y'all. I'm 43. I've just aged out of that whole go into a game and fight against other people thing. It just doesn't call to me. It doesn't evoke anything in me. Like, I was playing a boss last night in Chang Fallen Feathers, and she had me very angry, and that motivated me to keep going back in and beat her, right? I wanted victory. You boot up a game like that, and I get shellacked once or twice, have a bad game once or twice, I'm like, I'm good, man. I got other games to play. But the campaign, I think the campaign will certainly get my attention. I wonder, especially if it has co-op. You guys know I'm a big fan of co-op. You see your kid and your phone falling, and you only have time to save one. Which do you go for? This is a hard question. This is a tough question to answer because it depends on the height that they're falling from, right? If they're falling from, like, the kitchen counter, you know, my kid's like 11. I'm like, they'll be all right. Maybe they'll get a bruise. But my phone could be utterly destroyed. So you go for the phone. You know, you're like, they'll be all right. You know, brush it off. Does the phone have a case? Yeah, we got to know. We've got some questions to answer here in this thought experiment, right? Does the phone have a case? How new is it? Am I up for renewal? Would this help me justify getting a new one? You know, all that's firing in my brain as they fall in slow motion. I'm like, now, if it's a baby, no question, you save the baby. You know, the phone's a phone. If it's like a 10-year-old, you're like, oh, they'll be fine. They'll cry for like a minute, you know. Give them a popsicle, send them outside. That usually does the trick. You know, rub some dirt in it, you know. But, you know, if it's a baby, you got to save the baby. That's not even up for debate. Verbal Stampede, thank you so much for renewing over here with your Prime sub. 5 months. I appreciate it so much. Thank you. I think it's more than reflexes. I seem okay in COD, but I sucked in Battlefield. Demin says, babies are surprisingly pliable. Oh. I mean, these are the choices you have to make as a parent. These are the things that you're faced with on a daily basis. Depends on what you consider a baby nowadays. What, like a 3-year-old? You're like, you're a baby? Gibraltar has the weirdest airport in the world. A normal street runs straight through the runway. That's kind of a weird thing to have to stop for, you know? You're like, sorry I was late. There were a lot of planes. There were a lot of planes taking off. Sorry, boss. Late again. Yeah, I don't know what was going on, dude. It was like 3 planes in a row. Couldn't believe it. It's the longest red light in history. When's the trailer starting? In an hour and 15 minutes. There are red lights when a plane lands. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, you can't really dictate. You can't really legislate around that. There are rumors of a Sony portable after Sony mentioned power save mode feature. Huh? A power mode save feature. Oh, to save battery. You guys will be able to watch the trailer right here. We will do a new stream for that. We'll go to the new stream in about an hour. We'll go over like 15 minutes early. On YouTube, I like to separate them so that you get like a waiting room like this where we just chill, hang out, get to know each other. You know, somebody was hitting on me earlier and asked me out. You know, just normal stream stuff. And then we'll go over and we'll go to the new stream and we'll watch the trailer together, and I'll do a reaction. And I promise you I'll do a lot of like like surprise faces and stuff. I'll really deliver the expert YouTube commentary for y'all. You will get nothing but excellence here. To be fair, Gibraltar is pretty small. Their international airport is actually just a chicken farm. What do you think about going from Battlefield 5 to the new Battlefield 6, and it's just a different time? I mean, I don't have a dog in that fight. I'm not going to be strong. I have like a strong opinion about that. You know what I mean? As long as the story's good, I'm not like, oh, well, if it just goes right from 5 to 6, I'm going to be very disappointed, right? Something big is coming soon from PlayStation. Devs already have access to the power saver mode on PS5 dev kits. Yeah. Are you a new streamer? How long you stream for? I've been streaming for a decade. My YouTube channel is not that large. We had to kind of start over about 5 years ago. So halfway through my 10-year career, I had the reset button kind of... It was a bit of a detonation, but we have been working hard to rebuild, and it's basically a variety gaming talk show. It is safe for work. It is Monday through Friday. I'll be here doing this for the next week and a half. I will take the first week in August off. Now, we have a member goal every week that both Purple and YouTube can contribute to. That unlocks Friday night. If you double that, I do a Saturday stream for the next couple of weeks. We're offering some extra content because with me going out of town, I try to do a little bit of extra work before I leave. So it also helps out this stream if you guys smash the like button. So try to get us to 200 likes. Appreciate the turnout. And then remember, we're going to go over to that new stream in about an hour. And we will need a new like count then, so make sure you do that as well. We don't do this all the time, but whenever there's a live event, I like to do a waiting room where we just chill and hang out, and then we go and watch the event together in a new stream. I'll schedule it. I'll give you a link and all of that. So a seasoned streamer? Yes. Yes. I'm well seasoned, you know, only the best. His hair is the real star. He just works here. This is correct, yes. My enormous forehead and hair are really the star of the show. I just talk beneath the grandiose spectacle above. By season, he means old man. I know what that means, Zubair. I was trying to make a joke, you know, something that I think you're very familiar with, attempting to be funny. I think we... Have you been to Europe? I've been to, as far as like actually going across the ocean, I have been to the Amsterdam airport, and I got a nice Holland hoodie. I like to cheer for them in the Euro and the World Cup. but I didn't get to see anything really. And then I've been to Istanbul and all sorts of parts of Turkey. That's it. That's the extent of my international travel, like across the ocean. Over here, I've been to Canada and Mexico a couple of times as a kid, like as a teenager. So, smoked weed in Amsterdam? Sadly, I did not. That is the extent of my over-the-ocean travel. Austria's great in the summer if you like ham, cheese, and beer. I like all three of those things. I'd come there and get very fat. Are the developers from Battlefield 2 and Bad Company the same? I actually don't know the history of that. Somebody might have to weigh in if they know. We could obviously look it up. I don't want to lean forward and type right now. Just kind of relax. I'm just kind of relaxing. But I don't know. Going to Turkey in 2027? No. Oh, you're going in 2027. I was like, no, I've already gone. It was nice. It was nice. The mosques are beautiful. Istanbul is dense and crazy. People are very friendly. You learn how to say merhaba and teşekkür ederim. You learn how to say those two things, which is hello and thank you. I've not been in a long time. That's all I remember. Ireland is great for ham, cheese, and beer all year round. Mm-hmm. Yo, what's good, J Shep? How are you? What do you think of Matt Piscatella's comments with Chris String? I'm not sure what you're referring to. I didn't see it. I'm very much not on Twitter once I'm not in the chair. Even when I'm in the chair, I don't pay much attention to it. Yo, what's good, ADR Zone? How are you? I have an aunt and uncle who keep visiting and speak of it glowingly. It became a meme in our family. Oh, they like to go to Istanbul? There's a charm. I think there's a charm to it, you know. Especially if you like to go into very ornate mosques and just appreciate the artistry and the structure and the architecture. I mean, maybe you want to go in as a partaker of the religion, but the buildings are just, they're so beautiful. Yo, what's good, Laney? 26 months of members. That is a lot, man. Appreciate you, dude. Bumps it to 438. Purple. You guys won yesterday. If you win today, you're gonna need one of the big boys to show up to compete because we've already got 75 for YouTube. Gifted member renewal from Alex. Hey, Lono, morning and still working and lurking as usual. Thought I'd ask favorite superhero movie so far. I haven't seen any of them, so I can't pick one. I know which one's gonna end up being my favorite because, you know, I love Kal-El. Okay, so this is what you want me to react to here. If you guys are just tuning in, we're going to watch the Battlefield 6 trailer together. If you want my Battlefield 6 trailer reaction, you can watch it right here. I'll give you a link to the new stream whenever it's time to go over to it. You're not going to get people to transition consoles because of exclusives anymore. We're way beyond that point. Circana boss Matt Piscatella joins us this week to discuss multi-format releases, Switch 2, Donkey Kong, and more. Oh, it's an hour-long podcast. Really? I should save this for later. That could be a really fun... We've been thinking about doing reaction content in a very different way than others, where, like, if the news is dry, that's just the show. Is pulling up something a little bit more long-form and just, like, thoughtfully engaging with it. So... yeah, that might be a good one. I really like Chris String, and I do like Matt Piscatella. I think they're good sources of information. Lono, you thinking about converting? You can bring your love of Jesus. We're cool with Jesus. No, I am not thinking about converting. Is GTA suddenly went PlayStation or Xbox only? You can bet your butt people would transition to the other. Yeah, I would be interested to see when that statement was made in that interview and why. When he says you're not going to get people to transition consoles because of exclusives anymore, we're way beyond that point. I would argue in the inverse, you're seeing people transition. They're going to transition from Xbox to PlayStation. I think you're going to see that in large numbers in the coming years. I do. I think we've already seen it. You've already seen people switch. There are people who are ride or die, and they're going to hold on to the bitter end, but I think more and more folks are going to switch. I don't know if it's because of exclusives. I think it's because of a deprioritization of the hardware itself. So I think you're seeing people transition, but it's not to the point that person is making, whether it was I think it was Matt Piscatella that probably said it. Nobody was on Xbox this gen and was like, I'm switching for God of War, which is largely what he's driving at. Is like, once you're sort of embedded into a console and you're there, you're not going to switch because of an exclusive. You're not going to be like, well, I'm switching for Ghosts of Yote. But I think the way exclusives have been treated by Xbox in particular is actually having the inverse effect. It's making people leave. We've seen it. We've seen the posts, the Reddit threads, the tweets. Like, people are like, I'm done with this platform. I'm moving. So I understand what they're saying. They're basically saying, like, you're not going to drop some banger exclusive and get people to switch teams. Like, Phil Spencer owned that fact when he said, we're not in the business of out-consoling Sony and Nintendo. And 11 out of 10 Starfield isn't going to make people switch teams. That is generally true. But see, they sort of took a banana from the basket and $1 from the cash register at the same time, because they didn't just deprioritize exclusives. They started putting them everywhere, and that made their consumers say, why would I stay here, right? It's not that dichotomous. People don't switch their mains like that, but that doesn't mean that they aren't adopting the other platform because of exclusives. This is also true. They might just buy it and have both. I agree with that, Eugene. We know people on PC that did that. They didn't switch to PlayStation. They still largely game on PC, but they got a PlayStation because they wanted Ragnarok or they wanted Horizon Forbidden West. So there are consumers that are additive in their behavior. They're not, what would be the word there? They're additive. They're not subtractive. It's like, well, I'm going to leave this platform and go to that platform. They're additive. They're like, well, I'm still primarily gaming on my PC, but I got a PlayStation. $450 so I could play a sequel to a game that I thought was really good isn't too bad. It's the culmination of exclusives, so it's not one singular, but when you start to see it consistently, okay, it's time to switch. That's another thing. I think it's a very fair made point. It very much has been an evolution of a brand. Like, Xbox has just evolved as a brand rather rapidly the last 2 years. So people are very much, I think right now, entertaining the idea of switching. They're like, well, why would I stay here? I really can't trust what you say. I really can't trust the vision that you cast. So why would I stay loyal to the brand? I think plenty of people switch consoles because they get fed up with BS. That's true for me switching to PlayStation over Nintendo. Oh, for sure. There were lots of people that didn't like Nintendo's approach with Switch 1. For sure. That was, I think, again, that was a reasonable thing for you to do. What are you hoping for from this trailer, says Sven, for Battlefield 6? I'm expecting more of a Battlefield 4 vibe. Vincent Pella has given me hope. Yeah, more of a return to form. Yeah, I think they're going to do a return to form, but I tell you what they're going to do. I'm anticipating them really pushing the dynamic map. I really am anticipating that. I don't follow Battlefield religiously. I don't follow Battlefield closely. I don't. But I'm here to tell you, I think they're really going to push the dynamic map. That's how they're going to try to distinguish themselves. So it's not going to be an arena shooter, and it's not going to be a battle royale. It's going to be something like kind of in between. And I think they're going to really push that dynamic map with weather changes. I think they like that. I don't think that probably got the best shake and the best shot or the best chance in 2042. That was a huge focus, if you remember, like the tornadoes and stuff. I think they're going to do that again, would be my guess. That'll be an aspect of how they want their PvP to stand apart. Do you mean something like the PlanetSide MMO? I just mean dynamic weather. So like it wouldn't surprise me at all. Not persistent, no. It wouldn't surprise me at all, Sven, if they push forward some talking point about no game is the same. No match plays out the same way. they're going to try to push that idea because and again, this is just me completely theorizing. I got no tea leaves at all. If I'm analyzing the market right now, shooter PvP market, you cannot at all feel like an arena shooter. You can't. That's a death sentence. A month in, everybody's gone. You've got to have a hook. You've got to have something. Well, your choices are extraction shooter, which we all know that's not going very well because I don't think there's a large audience for that. I think it's a very niche genre. It's a very punishing genre, and I don't think it'll ever have broad appeal. One of the reasons Fortnite had broad appeal is because its appearance and the accessibility that the cone of accuracy offered people, as well as the building mechanic. It allowed people to play a battle royale who weren't necessarily super sweaty. Here's the thing. I think the other option is either, arena, which we know that's not going well. Extraction shooter, also not going that well. And then do we do a battle royale? Enormous risk because battle royale is super saturated. You got Fortnite, you got PUBG, you got Apex, right? That's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. So what do? Well, try to land somewhere in the middle. Try to land somewhere in the middle with like a large-scale battle, lots of players, a dynamic map, no match is the same. That's one of the appeals to Battle Royale, is it's always a bit random, it's always a bit crazy. That would be my guess, is that you try to strike a chord in the middle to try to get people. Now, Creature's saying the future of the shooter is an MMORPG. I don't think so. I think the future of looter shooters could maybe pull that off. But like a mil-sim or a PvP, I just don't know. You talk about planet side or games where you play for control, like the way they did it in New World as an MMORPG. I don't know. Oh, it's at 26.24. People to buy or transition boxes because of exclusives anymore. That's just, we're beyond that point. Like, people are entrenched into their systems, and bringing the content to them is the only way to win. Is he specifically talking about Xbox, though? I don't think Nintendo and PlayStation are signaling that they're going to do that or that they're willing to do that. Especially PlayStation's new user acquisition numbers. I don't think they have a motivation to bring the games, to a former competitor. Taylor says, I don't think they're going to lean into the weather because I'm pretty sure last time it was brought up, they said it took like 2 years to do the weather system and it took away development from the other. You don't think their work in the weather system is something that then could be used almost as a surplus of development in the new game? Excuse me. Do you understand? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, they've already built it, right? Couldn't they then therefore benefit from all that work? You spend all that time on it and you just shelve it and never again have like dynamic maps, changing weather, things like that. Like, oh, that felt amazing. You ever play the Halo franchise? I played it a lot back in the day. I liked playing through the campaign co-op with like a sibling is typically what I would do. I'm going to schedule the co-stream now. You guys don't need to go anywhere, but we are going to, let's see, trailer reaction. We're going to have a separate stream for the actual debut of the trailer, because that way when someone comes to my channel later, they don't have this big, huge, long 2-hour lead up to it. Does that make sense? I like to do that. So if you sub to my channel and you come back later, I want the channel to be like efficient for you, or I want your sub feed to make sense. So we will be doing a completely separate stream. I'll give you guys the link to it and we'll redirect in about 30 minutes. If that's okay with you, or that's how we're going to do it. And there is no Battlefield 6 directory yet. Let's get this set up, and we're not going to check the sponsored thing because it's not like a paid for co-stream. I don't want people to be confused. And if you sub to the channel to talk in the chat, we appreciate that. I also understand if you're only doing it to talk in the chat, but we do a daily talk show like this, and we do uploads. I've got a Wu Chang Fallen Feathers review in progress on the channel right now you can watch. We'll be playing some Wu Chang gameplay later for you, so you get a lot of content here, and I keep the talk shows safe for work. Okay, so that's scheduled, so that way people will get, they will get a noti in about 10 minutes about it. There we go. All right, we're all set. We'll go to that later, though. We can keep talking and hanging out right now. I always think familiarity like cities, real city maps, works well with neighborhoods that feel lived in. I think that's why Wildlands was so good. I did not like Wildlands. When will it be released? The trailer goes live in about an hour. And again, we will co-stream it. I'll provide you with a link. We'll go to a new stream and we'll watch it. You guys on Purple don't need to do anything. You can watch it without having a switch or anything like that. So, if you are watching on YouTube, though, continue hitting that like button. That helps us out. What's good, Angel of Wolves? How are you? Don't change directory. Announcements are best here. Yeah, I don't really change directories. So apparently we hit our 100 sub goal over here on Purple. Let's set a new one. Oh, Wired Rope helped us hit it with a 5 bomb. Thank you so much for doing that, Wired Rope. He's adding 5 members to the total. That's going to take us to 443, and then Stoffinator is going to get us a 444. Every 50, I gift 5, so currently I owe YouTube 5. We're 6 away from the milestone. Whoever hits it gets it. So you guys, Purple, you guys can steal it over there. You can steal it over there. Even though you typically lose the battle, the fight of who can do the most in a day, you can certainly steal the gifteds away, though, and I'll owe your platform. Pablo says, I can't wait to be lied again like 2042. I don't know. I feel like this is going to be their comeback tour. I feel like this game could really end up being really, really good. I'm not even a Battlefield fanboy. I'm just like, I think they learned their lesson. You would hope they learned their lesson. Have you talked about the Ubisoft news? The microtransactions are fun. No, I don't really care to comment on that. That's just stupid executive talking stupidly. Like, there's not a lot of news there. Hey, a really dumb executive said something dumb. Microtransactions are fun. What? I expect the IRS to come on and be like, dude, taxes are awesome, bro. People love taxes. Like, huh? I'm sorry, what did you say? I was thinking a lot of people reacted poorly to the weather events, if I remember correctly. Taylor, you could be totally right. You could be totally right that the weather was an overshoot and it was too disruptive, or people didn't like it. Maybe it's too costly. Maybe it takes too much bandwidth. Maybe it's really hard on the servers and lag and everything else. My general thought, let me zoom out on it more and be more generic in my prediction. My general thought is they're going to try to push forward the notion that every single match is different. Kira He, thank you for gifting a member. We are now exactly a 5 bomb away from 450. Somebody do it. Somebody drop it. Somebody steal it. Purple, YouTube, it's a race. I will owe your platform 5, and Purple's working on a hype train. Thank you so much. I'm watching both. Who is it? Rainwater, subscribe with Prime, and Wired Rope steals it. YouTube, you were too slow. It's now 17 to 75, but Purple's got it where it counts. That's going to be 451. I will help out with your hype train over here. I owe you guys 5. You beat YouTube to the punch. That's the way to do it. Y'all. Okay, I need to set a new goal over here. We're working on getting our sub points back over here, boys. So, manage goal. We're working on getting to 300 sub points. Well, no, it says that we're working on 100 sub points, but then yesterday it told me that we had completed it for July. I don't understand why it does that. Let me reset it. It says we have 105 sub points, and then it says that we don't. Now it says that we do. Okay, whatever. There we go. Boom. I did it. How long to the trailer? Yep, about 50 minutes. About 50 minutes. In about 30 minutes, we will go to a new stream. So help me out with that when the time comes for that, right? We'll all dogpile into a new stream. This stream has been a great conversation with a lot of long-standing Battlefield folks as well. So be sure to hit the like button on this. People might watch this later and listen to it. If you were Microsoft and you wanted to introduce Halo to a new audience in PlayStation and Switch 2, would you do a simple port? And which game, remaster, new title? I think you bring over Combat Evolved, remaster or remade, which is what we've heard they're going to do. I don't think that's going to suddenly have a bunch of new fans. I think the best way to get new fans to Halo is to launch a brand new Halo, and you're going to have to do the thing that none of the Halo fans want them to do, which is essentially spiritually reboot the entire franchise the way that Doom did with Doom 2016. Right? I think that's what you got to do. I think you got to do like a spiritual reset. Hang on, I'm going to pause the music really, really quickly here. I want to see, do like a spiritual reset. There we go. I was just checking to make sure that my sound was not delayed or anything. So when we go to watch this, it's nice and synced up. I'm excited for Battlefield 6, but what I feel like they should do is a specific Rim Battlefield style game, Earth military versus Halo like Aliens. I think that would probably not do very well. People would feel like it was a gigantic departure. People would feel like, you know, it's Battlefield in name only. Does that make sense? You know, and you could certainly come up with a cool tagline to be like, Earth is the new battlefield or something like that. But I don't think people would like it. I think people would feel like it's a massive departure. They would say, why not just do a whole new game? And I think that's fair pushback. I think when you do that level of departure from your core competencies and your core feel and your core identity and DNA, that's fair. You know? Guys over there on Purple, if you're going to renew your Prime subs or gifts, now's the time. We got a minute and a half left on the hype train. You guys are the best. You're going to help unlock maybe a Saturday community stream. If you guys like those, that's an extra incentive we're running for the next 2 weeks. I typically take Saturday off, but we had a lot of fun last week. You guys missed out, man. We played some Jackbox. We played some Fall Guys. This is what Saints Row did and didn't work. A Member Plus renewal from Sagomo says, my membership was renewed while I wasn't here to celebrate. Keep it up. Well, thank you so much for 2 months. And thank you for doing a Member Plus. We need more and more people on YouTube to do that, to get out of the gifted funnel and to pick up that membership for $6. This is a fan-funded channel. It's like a Patreon podcast, right? Basically, this works because you guys support it directly. But we don't put the content behind the paywall. We just do that with the green room and the Madam segments, the streams with my wife. So this is a channel that is supported by you guys. So we really appreciate those of you that do that. Madam tricked Lono into thinking that everybody in chat wanted to play rematch, and he got so salty at us, but she was fibbing. When I came to that realization, Creature, I was so mad. That was Saturday when she did that. That was not Friday. That was Saturday. Yo, Stone Spire, thanks so much for using your Prime sub, moving the hype train a little bit. The hype trains like it. CJ Catrone does the same thing and uses the Prime. Thanks, guys, for coming over and using your Primes, man. That really, really does help. Thank you very, very much. And you guys did it. Wait, why did it close? Did you guys seriously run out of time? I thought it would have extended the time because you came and used your primes. Guess not. I feel dirty every time I use my Prime sub. Oh, stop. Personally, I want guns to feel like they got weight to them instead of the arcade COD gunplay. What's y'all's thoughts? The hardest thing about adding weight to guns, Taylor, is that means you have to elongate TTK. I know what Stone Spire's doing, and I'm going to honor it, all right? I'm going to honor it. We're going back to the old school rules for right now. 4:55. If someone drops a 20 bomb, I'm going to honor the old school. Am I muted, chat? No, I see what you're saying, Dark Sage. I'm just watching both chats. What you're asking me, what kind of game is Cyberpunk over and over again in a discussion about Battlefield, and you're wondering why you're not getting an answer. That's an interesting one. I'm hoping that Battlefield 6 can replicate what made Battlefield 3 so great. Big, well-designed maps, weapon balance, and classes. I really hope they don't mess that up. I'm in dire need of good multiplayer. Yeah, but what I was saying about, like, adding punch to the guns, you normally have to elongate TTK, which is time to kill. Like, you have to make people stay alive longer. You know what I mean? Because, like, people are going to generally die pretty quickly in games like this when you shoot them. You used your sub already? Yes, you have. Does that make sense? Like, if you want to feel like the weight of, like, the dog, and, like, you know, they gotta live longer, and people tend to not like that. Now, maybe you have structures that can be shot, like people put up barricades, barriers, like jeeps and weapons and things like, vehicles and things like that, to where the weapons can be like, you know, and then you're just watching pieces of metal fly off. That could add some of what you're asking for. Yo, Pan adds a single gifted to the total. Stone Spire is so faithful baiting those 20 bombs, and I've tried every time to incentivize it, Stone. I've tried to incentivize it, and nobody takes the bait. He's super faithful. COD shooting's arcadey compared to Battlefield. I suppose even with a quick time to kill, you could have the guns, like, punch a little bit more and have a little bit more, like, of that echoey sound design, you know, like, chicka-pow, you, like, shoot a sniper rifle and it sounds like, you know. Considering your name Reforge Gaming, I'm asking a question about a video game. I'm new to your channel and thought you could switch to any subject. Well, I'm in a flow state with chat and we're discussing something particular, right? So, like, you want to know what kind of a game Cyberpunk is, a game that's been out for 5 years? It's a first-person shooter RPG where your decisions matter, your build matters, you've got a lot of freedom within your skill tree and customization, as well as the flow of the narrative and the people that you interact with. I strongly encourage people to start with Phantom Liberty. The first 4 to 5 hours of Cyberpunk's onboarding through its tutorial of its vanilla state, I don't think is very good. If you enjoy the opening to Phantom Liberty, then you can go play the rest of the game later. There you go. 20 bomb from Wilbur. He takes it. Somebody takes the bait. There it is. There it is. Stone Spire can smile and hold his head high as he provoked somebody to do it. And I'm going to honor the old rules for today. Yeah, 5 every 25. There it is. Thank you so much. Yo, good morning, Big Floppa. How are you? Yes. Stone Spire has been trying to get somebody to take those 20 bomb baits. And they don't. And then we finally got it. There it is. Congrats. Good work, Stone Spire. It depends. I like arcade shooting, but on racing, I prefer sim. I think for these first-person shooters, you got to decide what you want to be. Do you want to be buck wild, insane, drop-shotting, bunny-hopping, arcade shooter, you know? Everybody's dead, right? That's how fast, that's how it feels. Feels kind of throwaway, right? Or do you want to be more mil-sim? Do you want to be more realistic? Do you want to be more, like, methodical, right? Do you want to be closer to the slowness and the strategery of, like, how... Now, Tarkov's not like a mil-sim, but, like, just the way Tarkov feels, right? You know, do you want to go more that route, I guess, would be the question. These are the questions that these devs have to answer. They've got to decide how they want to structure these games, how they want their games to feel. And then the question after that is there an audience for that? You know? It had been a long time since I did a 20 bomb. Well, I appreciate it, Wilbur. That's very generous. It really, truly is. The single gifteds add up, boys, and so do the 5 bombs, and so do your primes. It all adds up. So don't ever feel like, oh, you know, these guys are dropping 50 bombs and 20 bombs. Man, everything adds up. Stone Spire and others very effectively use single gifteds, and they are a massive aspect of our community here and how we roll and how we bless others. Little, please tell me What kind of game is Witcher 3? Yeah. No matter what you decide on, you've got to decide and stick to it. But then you ultimately, and see, this is one of the dilemmas that you have with these large games and these large budgets. By their very nature, they have to appeal to a lot of people. And there's another one of the single gifted kings. Joker Quinn bumps the line to 477. 477. Dating sims. What kind of game is Swordman 2? It really is the culmination and the evolution of Swordman 1. I mean, they really took the sword fighting, the sword manishness of the game, and they elevated it to higher heights. When is the trailer coming out? In 40 minutes. 40 minutes. If you've never been here before, we like to do waiting room live streams like this before an event, before a reveal. It's a time for us to kind of get to know each other, have conversations, gift members, hit like, all those things. So thank you to everybody who has shown up today. I will be watching it with you as a live reaction. I will give you a link to a new stream in about 20 minutes. We'll go over 15 minutes early to a new stream. In the meantime, try to get us to 300 likes. You guys have been crushing it today. The more you hang out, the higher likelihood you get a gifted member. So be here every day. Be chatting. Be hitting like. Be doing all those things. You know what I mean? And you might get a gifted membership. Gifted members don't get in the green room, though. If you want to come to that segment, you're going to have to upgrade. Thanks for the gift, Wired Rope. I don't chat much, but I listen while at work. Have a good day. Well, thank you for listening, Raven. I appreciate that. Let's not forget a woman is in charge of Battlefield 6, so adjusting my expectations accordingly. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. It wouldn't surprise me at all if we spend a disproportionate amount of time like shopping for shoes and, you know, looking at recipes on Pinterest. You know, it's gonna really ruin the game. I'm obviously kidding. I don't think that's gonna have an effect. Yeah. Come on, man. What the frick? There's a woman in charge, so, you know, it's going to be kind of a womanly game. Can't be having none of that. Oh, Lord. Still to this day, I think Delta Force Joint Operations did the best open world FPS where you actually had to transport your forces to the front with little birds and Black Hawks. Trailer at 11 a.m. Eastern. This is correct. This is correct. A woman was in charge of COD for years. Yeah, I mean, you might not want to look at the history of some of your favorite games. You might be very surprised to learn. You might be really surprised to learn just how many people developed, directed, and wrote for games that are nothing like you, and yet they still managed to make a great product. It's remarkable. Oh my gosh. What a great game take. That's right. Warframe says, hold my beer. Yeah, Warframe's been around for a long time. A lot of the leadership and people in charge over there. Women. Oh no, what are you going to do? I know there's some devs from Concord for the new Halo studios. If they make Halo this or this, I'll say, Bungie, what have you done? I mean, here's the thing I'll say about that, Bradley. Even though you're being almost cliche, Concord as a game and as a disaster was because of like toxic positivity, and you had people in charge like John Wisniewski from Bungie, and I wouldn't put him in charge of an ice cream stand, right? I think he's absolutely horrible for leadership, right? Very, 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 very not good leader, right? If you've seen some of his posts and some of the ways he's conducted himself, I think he's probably the centrifuge of some of the toxic positivity of the company. But if you look at how the game ran, it was a polished product in Unreal, shooting mechanics, movement, map design. It actually was good in that respect. It was a game that nobody wanted. The characters looked stupid. It was a hero shooter without ultimates. But like the way the guns handled, it was a game without bugs. It was a game without glitches. Map design was obviously very good. It was heavily informed by Destiny map design. So just because somebody worked on Concord doesn't mean they're going to like bring the Concord stink with them. Does that make sense? You can have really, really talented people that can build a good product, and if you have really, really bad leadership, it's not an indictment of the developers on said project, if that makes sense. What about the art style of Concord? I don't even think the art style was the problem. It was the art direction for the characters. The art style was fine. I thought it looked fine. It looked like a fine game. The characters looked stupid. Nobody wants to play as a grandma. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm going to go play this hero shooter. Who are you going to play as? Well, I can choose between the frumpy person that looks like a substitute PE teacher, or I can play as a grandmother. Like, those aren't heroes. Those don't... You want to feel cool. You want to look cool. That was the issue, is their character design didn't make an ounce of sense. They didn't... And it was a hero shooter without ultimates. What are you doing? You know what I mean? What are you doing? Like, ultimates in a hero shooter are pivotal to the draw. They're pivotal to the big moments, the turn moments, the clutch moments. Like, does that make sense? Like, I don't... like, what were they thinking? You know what I mean? It's like they didn't even understand... They didn't even understand the assignment. It was like, yeah, we're going to try to break into the hero shooter market by doing something that, like, we're not going to do the main thing that these games are known for, which is ults. So you built Destiny. PvP is what they did. You just have a bunch of different people. That's what it was, right? It was just a bunch of different guardians. Like, look at their abilities, right? This guy can put up a wall. This guy can put up a barrier. This guy can shoot lots of really great bullets. This guy can throw lots of grenades now. Like, they basically made Destiny PvP with a bunch of different guardians, called them heroes, didn't give them ultimates. Yeah, even Destiny has supers. That's true. If you play... Listen. If you go back in time and you play vanilla Destiny 2 PvP, it has Concord written all over it. It was team shot, lane camp nonsense, and you had these, like, very, very muted abilities like supers, but then you had, like, the ability to put up walls and the ability to put, throw grenades and stuff for, like, map control. Destiny 2 vanilla PvP, the DNA of that is so baked into the crust of Concord. Destiny 1, no. Vanilla Destiny 2 PvP double primary. That DNA is so present in Concord. It's as plain as day. You had Wisniewski and Hamrick and the other guy all come from Bungie, and they brought all that with them. Do you remember that was one of my primary critiques of Concord? I was like, it's just team shot meta all over again. You just death ball through the map with your buds. And every time you see somebody, it's kapow, pow, 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 dead. Kapow, pow, pow, pow. It's just team shot. I won like 3 games in a row with my nephews running that strategy. I was like, just look at the map, go to where you see your teammates are, and team shot anybody you see. And we were just literally death balling through the map. People were like, well, isn't that what you're supposed to do? Work together as a team? In a hero shooter, you want to be death balling, team shotting? What? No, you want to be using your abilities. You want to be using your ultimate. You want to turn the tide of the map. You want to hear somebody shout or scream something and everybody runs. You know what I mean? Lock and load. And you're like, oh no, what are we going to do? Like, none of that intensity's there. It's just sit on a dadgum lane, use passive defensive abilities, use lateral agility to exit lanes and team shot. Ooh, thrilling. I remember when I said this in the wake of the game's launch, I got a lot of pushback, and I'm like, this game's not long for this world, boys. There's nothing in it that's inviting. There's nothing in it that's exciting, you know? Yeah, bring in the grandma. Here she comes. She's going to throw her walker at him. And if her super is full, she'll have the tennis balls on the bottom of the walker for grenades, you know? It's such a bad game. Could we get 25 more likes on the video? Let's get 300 likes before we switch to the new stream. We are going to switch to a new stream. Thank you for getting us to 478. Mr. Dark Taco, I appreciate it. Renewing that member plus. We need more and more people to go to the member tab. Use the upgrade command in chat and consider upgrading your membership today. It's $1. I want to see. Let's get an upgrade train. Member plus, $6. Like I said, the skins are bad. I mean, the character designs, listen, if you went into Concord right now and you made every single character drop dead gorgeous, hot, tough and macho and masculine, and you got booba hanging out, you got cheeks hanging out, right? You give it the Marvel Rivals Stellar Blade treatment. It wouldn't suddenly become a better game, homie. Well, I can stare at some cheeks. That ain't gonna make it. Well, not really, because it's first person. You have to follow somebody, I guess. It wouldn't suddenly make it a better game. It was a bad game down to its core. Everybody wanted to look at the surface and do surface level analysis. Yeah, they went woke, and that's why it did bad. Well, now, stop it. If you change all those characters right now and make them silly hot, and you deal in that trope and that stereotype, okay, it doesn't suddenly become a better game. The moment-to-moment combat still sucked. There were still no ultimates. It was still team shot meta. It was still map designs and player movement and player positioning and player strategy that was largely Destiny 2 vanilla PvP, DNA. Thank you so much, Benj768. All right, Stone Spire, stop. We already got it because somebody renewed on purple, and your single gets us to 480. Stone Spire is once again baiting the 20 bomb. This guy is the absolute master. He's the absolute master. A 20 bomb to get us to 500 a day early, and then you guys can work on stretch. If you guys get to 600, Madam has to play the demo of, what's it called? Is it called Baby Steps? Yeah, Baby Steps demo tomorrow night. Fragpunk was decent. It was better than Concord. Yeah, I thought Fragpunk looked better than Concord. I remember when the trailers came out. I was like, yeah, that looks better than Concord. It didn't do very well either, though. I don't think that kind of content. And a 20 bomb from Pathalon Phoenix after B Hunter did renew, but it still goes to Team YouTube. There it is. Now we're working on stretch. So Friday night's going to happen. Friday night is going to happen. And you can make Madam play the Baby Steps demo if you hit the next goal. So thank you so much. Pathalon Phoenix, the other god tier gifter around here. In 10 minutes, we're going to shift gears to a new stream. So let's go out with a bang. Let's get 14 more likes. I owe you guys some members. I'm actually going to do the members in the new stream. That'll kind of get things moving when we get over there. I'm going to save it. I'm going to save the members that I owe you. If you've never been here before, you probably noticed it's a super generous community. We got a Discord you can get involved with, people you can play with. And if you become a member, you get access to extra content. Greatly appreciate you guys and what you do for us here. Twitch not coming back today. I don't think so. Pork Pie was the only person to ever do a 100 bomb on purple, and that's what they would need right now to take the lead. Fragpunk was good. I like the cards that changed gameplay. That was cool. The number one problem for any game like that, whether it's Fragpunk or Splitgate 2. Okay. There's like a ringing in my ear all of a sudden. I was like, what the frick? It's like very faint, but it like threw me off. The number one problem that all these games face, whether it's Splitgate 2, Fragpunk, any of them, is the word re-engagement. That's the single greatest challenge that they face. Our game is fun. Our guns are cool. Our map design is pristine. Great. How are you going to get people to come back in 3 months? How are you going to get people to continue re-engaging with the content? What is your plan? Oh, we're going to do events and a battle pass. Oh, cool. Yeah, everybody else is doing that. That doesn't innovate. That's not innovative. I've gone on this rant many times. The answer to why people are going to re-engage with your game is not a technical answer. It's not a what. It's not a what. It's a why. So when somebody's like, well, why am I going to come back and play your game? Why am I going to re-engage? If your answer is a what, it's a technical answer. Oh, the what? A battle pass and events. Nope, you've not answered the question of why. You know? You have not answered the question of why. It's a psychological answer, not a technical answer. And a lot of these companies have no idea how to answer that question. They don't know how to answer it. What they do is they look at the formula and they think the formula is the cause. Oh, well, all those other games, they do events and they do battle passes. That's the cause. That's why people re-engage. It can be a reason for somebody to come back and check out the new thing that you're doing. It certainly can. But the reason people are engaging and re-engaging with those games long term is typically not because primarily, well, there's a battle pass and there's an event. That's just sort of the window dressing of what's happening at that particular time. You have to create a hook. You have to create some deep-seated psychological incentive that's almost unspoken as to why somebody would hang on a second. My cable's going bad for my headphones. You got to get them. You got to get them in. That's how you get them in. You don't get them in and keep them with battle passes and events because everybody's doing that. There has to be something deeper than that. And I told you guys when Splitgate 2 did that one interview and that was their answer. They're like, yeah, well, the first game after a month nobody was playing, so our answer to that is battle passes and events. I'm like, oh, there you go. That's not an answer. That's not an answer. Nothing worse than a half-baked live service game that only has a battle pass to bolster attention. Here's what people don't understand. And this is a different way of me talking about this, and I probably have talked about it before. A battle pass isn't content. I'll even say this. The event is not content. It isn't. It's not. The content has to be the content. Like, what in the world am I doing that is going to bring me back? Are you going to continue Death Stranding 2? Oh, yes, I'm going to continue Death Stranding 2. I 100% want to do that so I can speak to the Game of the Year contest. I'm going to attempt to finish Wu Chang. It's going to be difficult because it's starting to do a lot of things that I just really don't like, and it needs some polish. It's got weird things that happen in boss fights. It's got performance issues. It gets worse the further you get, and it's not scoring all that well. Switch to wireless headphones. I can't do mic monitoring with wireless. Like, I have my Focusrite going through the Astro so I can hear myself. I have to be able to hear myself or it drives me crazy to talk with headphones on. You mean Power Grind's not content? Someone should tell the D2 devs. Well, the reason that Wired Rope is saying leveling isn't content is that was a famous rant that I would go on. It was like one of my soapboxes. When I covered Destiny almost exclusively, I always said that. I was always like, leveling isn't content. Like, leveling is not content. My backlog's bigger than my backside. We're going to need evidence provided, and we'll have to do some measurements. I don't allow claims like that in chat if you're not going to back it up with evidence. So, don't get it twisted. I agree that Power Grind isn't content. It's insane. Gamers these days think a battle pass is content. I tell my nieces and nephews that a battle pass is not content. They'll say otherwise. I got through the first 2 bosses on Wu Chang. Runs great on my PC. A lot of people are saying it doesn't run well. I don't know. It's got a terrible score on PC. It's got a really bad score. I mean, you'll send pictures? I expect nothing less. It's got like a frickin' 20% or something. on Steam. It's bad. It's down there, boys. I mean, a 21%. Good golly. I mean, 21%. You try Abiotic Factor? I found it uneven and the controls clunky on console. It looked like something that I would not enjoy playing with Madam. I did a second glance at it and I was like, yeah, I don't think so. I don't think that's for us. We're loving Donkey Kong. We were playing more last night. Oh, is somebody asking about Friday nights? J-Hart is? Yeah, like Friday night streams when you guys unlock Friday night. Friday night's a stream with my wife. We have some drinks, we have some laughs. You guys ask her questions. We think we might start opening up Friday nights with like just talking about the thing that we most recently watched. There's a lot of movies and things she's never seen, and it's really funny to hear her talk about things she's never seen before, especially when she can't remember details. It's entertaining. Donkey Kong Game of the Year? No, I don't think so. I've played Expedition 33. I'm halfway through Death Stranding 2, and I'm having an awful lot of fun with Donkey Kong. There ain't no way it's winning. I'm having a blast, but no way, bro. No way. No. It's good. It's fun. It is. People are loving it, but no. Do I remember a game called Rogue Trip? I do not. 2024 Astrobot, 2025 Donkey Kong. I'm here to tell you, nothing is beating Expedition 33. Thank you for your amazing review of Wu Chang. Unfortunately, not for me. I appreciate that, Pan. Thank you. Would you be so kind and give your opinion on the new Metal Gear? Yeah, I think it looks like it's going to be really, really great for fans, and everybody else is going to play it and be like, what the heck is this? It looks and feels really dated. We're going to redirect in 2 minutes. So if you guys have never been here before for this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to spam a link in chat. You can click that link, or you can be redirected to the new stream. I encourage you to click the link. Redirect is super unreliable. I'm going to start a brand new stream on YouTube, and it's just going to be literally called Battlefield 6 Official Reveal Trailer. It'll have a new thumbnail. This allows us to have separate streams so that later on it's just the reveal. Instead of having, like right now, I've been streaming for an hour and a half. Instead of having like an hour and 45-minute lead up, there's just a 15-minute lead up to it. So that's typically what we do. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to put a link into the chat. You guys on Twitch don't have to do anything. So if you would prefer to go to the new stream right now instead of writing the redirect, I strongly encourage that. I will also be gifting members when I get over there. Let's get over to the new stream and go crazy. Let's hit the like button a bunch. Let's gift some members. Let's get some momentum. It'll give us 15 minutes to kind of start things up. And then let me get the video pulled up so I can have it framed up for the opening of the stream. I don't know if I can go to it. Is this it here? This is it here. What? Premiere trailer battle. Oh wait, this is not it. Here we go. Hang on. Let me slide this over. And then let me go like this. Here we go. All right. Excuse me. All right, so click the link in chat, or you can come with the redirect. Go away. Thank you so much for checking out this video. If you're watching this later, this is going to be the Battlefield 6 trailer reaction stream. And you're going to want to skip ahead by 15 minutes if you're watching this later. We're just going to kind of sit and get ready. So this will be the Battlefield 6 reveal trailer reaction stream that I did. We did do a Battlefield 6 trailer waiting room. I'm going to end that stream and bring people over with redirect, or they can click the link in chat As you guys come over, be sure to smash the like button. Be sure to